Welcome to historic Kingston, Ontario. My name is Andy Adams. I'm the managing editor of Canadian Yachting magazine, and I've come to Kingston today to go through the Marine Museum of the Great Lakes. I want you to come and join me for a little tour, but before we go in, I want to explain one important thing, and that is, for boating enthusiasts, you can come in a large boat or a small boat by prior arrangement to the Confederation Basin Marina, which is only a few blocks from where I'm standing right now. Tie up, bring your camera, walk down the street, let's go into the museum. So we are now in the Marine Museum of the Great Lakes here in Kingston, Ontario, and we are going this way to the permanent galleries. One of the first exhibits that you'll see is actually a Fresnel lens, which is used for lighthouses. And of course, when you're looking at the Marine Museum and the number of shipwrecks that have happened, you can imagine how important a lighthouse light could be. There are a number of models that you'll see of ships, both old and new, as you go through the Marine Museum of the Great Lakes, and some of them are remarkably detailed. This may not look like much, but it's called the Cataraqui prow, and it is actually the bow, or the remains of a bow, of a ship that was found nearby in the Cataraqui River. This was probably the bow of an English ship from the 1800s. This was the kind of outfit that divers used to have to wear to recover items off shipwrecks. Here's another one of the wonderful models that's on display. This is a more recent ship from the Canada Steamship Lines. One of the most important shipbuilding functions was putting the rivets into the hull to hold it together. Here is a display of how this was done. It took 4 men on a crew to put rivets in, one to heat, another with the tongs and the bucket, 2 more to hammer it into place, and then they had to share the price that they got paid per rivet for assembling the ships. On display is a model of the HMS St. Lawrence, which was built for the War of 1812. An interesting fact about the ship is that it was commissioned to be a 3-masted sailing vessel that was the biggest, meanest looking ship there to intimidate the enemy, and history records it never fired a shot. On display is a wonderful, huge photograph really of Kingston back in 1885. It's interesting to see how much of the city still remains from back then, and one of the most interesting things is that City Hall. There's the Martello Tower, and you can see that's called now Confederation Basin, which is where you can tie your boat up and walk across to this museum. This is what remains of the former Wolfe Island Ferry. One of the most interesting things is that this facility was actually a dry dock, and it was commissioned by Sir John A. Macdonald, who wanted Kingston to be the premier shipbuilding area in Canada. And what you're looking at are huge pumps that were installed here so that they could drain or fill the dry dock, which is now where the Alexander Henry ship is located. This is the Alexander Henry, a decommissioned Coast Guard cutter and icebreaker that served a lot of time at the top of Lake Superior. It's here in the dry dock on display any day. You can come to the Marine Museum of the Great Lakes here in Kingston and tour the entire ship, looking at the captain's cabins, the kitchens, the cargo holds, and all the other features. It's great fun to go through. I hope you've enjoyed our tour of the museum today. I'm Andy Adams, managing editor of Canadian Yachting magazine, and I thank you for joining us on this video, and I invite you to come and see the Marine Museum of the Great Lakes in Kingston yourself. It's a wonderful facility, and it's open 12 months a year.